Whoa, there we go. Alright, we got some movement speed boots with an amount of life and res. We're definitely going to snag those. Our boots are quite nice, but I would like to get some movement speed boots if possible. Even 10% is a feel, you know? Especially if they have non-dead stats. Alright, boom. We've got a little bit of movement speed now. Sweet, sweet Act 2 means access to new vendors, which may hold new treasures. Access to Einhar, who guarantee has some treasures for us. He always gives us uniques, that's good. Now, that's a pretty sweet little wand. Spell damage and prod speed, huh? Gotta find ourselves some more +1 wands. We're gonna get Einhar here eventually. Whenever we do, that'll yield us one bestiary mob, which is a mechanic that involves capturing beasts and then going to his menagerie and fighting them. And you get loot in different categories. So it'll be things like a unique helmet or a unique wand. And those could be quite good. A lot of times people use, when they get to finish the axe and get to mapping, they'll use bestiary as a way of getting a nice base layer of uniques, especially early in League. Alright, on to the... Oh, you know what? We don't have to do the crosses. I have to go do the white beast. I said I would do every single side quest, and I mean it. Where's the white beast at? Here he is. The den. Well, there's a ghost. Let's follow the ghost. He's just going to go into the rare. He's inside the rare. Alright, we've got a ghosted rare. That could be something. And it was, oh, bronze scepter. And I mean, the bow's useless, but the bronze scepter could be good. It's not, but it could have been. I'll still vendor it. Most side quests aren't really worth doing because they don't give you any sort of permanent buff. They're just like a rare. But first character, hardcore, mini-series, Guadalupe, might as well. There's the Great White Beast. It's the Great White Beast. He's so great. I think he gives us a shield, which is not nothing. Or no, not a shield. A belt? Might be a belt. Belt sounds real. Ah, here's an essence. This is similar to the crab we fought in Act 1. They just are rares augmented with an additional ability that drop an item that we can use for item creation. So not crafting, but, you know, basic creation. Now the crossroads obviously is a crossroads. We're going to head down first, which has two main attractions. I guess three. One of them is not really an attraction. One of them is a detraction. We've got another lab trial, so that'll be 2 out of 6 done. We have a little mini unlock thing. But the real thing in the Fellshrine Ruins is this really dumb thing, which you hit these 3 different statues in these little stairs, and it's going to summon a unique mob based off of a expedition boss, Verana, which is something we won't encounter for a very long time or at all. And she's super lethal, but she has some nice loot on average. So we're going to do that because it's potential for some good loot, and I feel like we're pretty chonky. All right, here is another statue, and here is the final statue. Alright, so now when we go to the bottom of the Fellshrine Ruins, there is going to be a little summoning circle, if you will, a seance realm, and that's going to have a big angry bitch in it. Here's where the big angry bitch will be formed. So there she is in the middle now, and we're gonna keep our distance because she is spooky. She's also like super fucking tanky. Probably gonna kill our Merc. Yeah, so that just did half my life. For context, yeah, Merc's dead when I fight her in a more open area like this. But yeah, wouldn't recommend normally to do this. Okay, she's about to go down. Let's see what we get, and anything? Alright, so we got rares. None of them are really we care about. I guess the body armor. The rest we can't even use. But you could just see how her rarity is cranked up to that, like, oomph degree, you know? We're going to take a second to go back to town and grab our white beast belt. So we're going to take probably the rustic sash, I guess, because it does have damage on it. For us, this one rolled pretty nice, so we're happy with that. We do lose a little bit of damage, but that's fine. Okay, so now we're in the Crypts, and on the first level of the Crypts, there is a lab trial. On the second level, has a little boss with a minor unlock. Yeah, careful walking in rooms with shrines, because a diamond shrine, you get hit by 10 skeleton auto attacks, and you're just dead. Diamond shrine guarantees crits, and that's very spooky. Let's fight this trapper while we got our diamond shrine up here. What is this on my map? Alteration. Alright, second lab trial. This has the fucking billy clubs. The spinning billy clubs. Now these things do percentage damage. So you have to be a little bit, you know, wary of just sitting and eating them, because they will dunk on you. But they're very easy to solve, these puzzles. You just avoid standing in, you know, whatever, and you don't get hit. It ain't rocket science, thankfully. There's our lab trial number 2 done. Crypt level 2. Ooh, infamous mercenary with a blood play. A little bit spooky, but they do have 2 chaos, and I kind of want that. It's not too scary, their actual abilities. We should be okay. Just have to keep our distance, per usual. We're going to stay down there. They're going to stay up there. That's kind of the plan. But we got to watch out, because infamous mercs can go hard. We could just fight them a room away, though, so not too worried. And down he goes. There he goes. Just wait a couple seconds. Make sure some more traps flying around. Alright. I'll take my 2 chaos, thank you very much. And we got some shrine action. It's a shock shrine, so that's kind of a non-bow there. I think I might level off of this rare, and if we do, we will be at Ancestral Bond. Okay, there's Ancestral Bond. So this is I can't do damage, which is really nice, because I don't need to, because I got extra totem, plus 1 number of max totems. So I now have 2 totems, which not only doubles my damage, but doubles my clear, which is really important. So as I'm walking now, we could kind of just place totems as I walk around, and it's going to really make it so it's much easier to clear off things as we're progressing. To have the benefit of, I mean, he died so fast. We have the benefit of now just placing 2 totems and just fucking stomping. But there's the Golden Hand, and that is an important quest, because the Golden Hand quest, I believe now, gives us a passive point. Let's see. Boink. Yep, 1 passive, which we're just going to spend on this large Purity of Flesh node, putting us at 600 life. We've got a really great framework for a totem Templar tree. Alright, now that we're ancestrally bonded, let's head back to the crossroads. And we are going to... let's do the right side first, which is one of the 3 bandits Creighton. Depending on what you do with the bandits, you get different rewards. The main one is killing all 3 for a passive. Some people like to pick early on helping one of them Alira, the western one, because you get all res and some crit multi. It's fine. It's not bad, but it's just not something we're really going to engage with. Over here we do have the starter mechanic for Breach, which is teaching you how a Breach works. It's like equally as unimportant as the Legion one. Nothing particularly happens here. It spawns some stuff. You don't get nearly enough rewards to merit really doing it. And yeah, we just kind of move on with life. But there's some stuff to kill, so we'll take the rares, we'll take the loot. And on to the next area we go. The Broken Bridge itself. Our mana's starting to become an issue, so we'll probably have to start using either Clarity or just put some points into mana regen. Well, I like that Scour. We're going to take that Scour from this Shatter Sword here. Make sure we watch ourselves in case we don't die to some bullshit. I think we'll have to, have to place our totems a second time. And there we go, Scour. Okay, here's Creighton. So if we were to help him, we 8% movement speed, but we're rather have a passive, so we're gonna kill him and kill the other 2 people. And down he goes. There's the amulet. Now we could move on to the next area. We're gonna head back to the crossroads, and we're gonna go up because we have to go kill an angry man and do another lab trial. Ooh, a ghost. You have no one to go into. Very unfortunate little ghost. Alright, level 21, and what we can do now is we could pick up a mastery. So we do have access to this this life wheel. And one of the things that could help alleviate our mana cost is grabbing the skills cost life instead of 15% mana. So that would make the 29 mana cost become 24 and 4 life. Might not sound like much, but it's honestly a pretty substantial difference in mitigating mana cost. Chamber of Sins level 1, which has nothing really aside from just the waypoint, and then we have to go to level 2 to grab the lab trial and also the progression of the quest for the act. But don't forget, it's a different instance, and every instance has a mercenary, so something to think about. There's the waypoint in case we need it, and here is level 2. Now we gotta go find that lab trial And we gotta find the progression for the quest, Fidelitas. Alright, well, we've accidentally found Fidelitas first, the quest progression, so we'll just go do him and then walk back and find the lab trial. He's a boss that just does nothing but basically lightning strike as an auto attack, and that's the end of the fight. Oh, some rare boots, though. Not good, and not good. There's the Baleful Gem, which is the quest progression. We've got to run back and go do the lab trial. Alright, here's the lab trial. This is the buzzsaw one, so it teaches you about the buzzsaws. If you stand on them, you get a little zap. Little meow, so don't stand on them. It's that simple. And there's lab trial number 3. Let's kill this rare and get out of here. Alright, so for completing that, we do get some new spells and such, including new auras. Herald of Ash is an interesting one. It grants 15% Fizz as fire, which is very similar to our added fire. So we are going to take that bad boy. Okay, so we're in the west side we're doing now, and we do see Einhar pop up. So as we discussed, he is going to want to capture beasts, which consist of yellow beasts and red beasts. You can see them on the mini-map. So we got to kill the yellow beasts, and then we got to kill a red beast, and then we're going to, it's like a 4-to-1 ratio or something, and then we're going to basically have access to one item. Now I know every beast by heart, but I'll show you in the Menagerie what they look like. If you didn't know what the hell every beast does. We're actually going to start heading down. And we're going to go over here to the Constitution wheel, because I want to grab Iron Will, which makes strength bonus applied to spell damage, which is really, really nice for us, because we will be having a lot of strength from pathing. Here's the waypoint, snagged. You can see in the top right, we've got 2 beasts left. It's going to be 1 yellow beast and 1 red beast. And here they are. Now what is our red beast going to be? Okay, so we've got what I call the Jack-in-the-Box crab, which is a reference to a divination card, Jack-in-the-Box, that gives you a random unique, because this crab gives you a random unique. So very high potential to have something useful, even at this stage of the game. Now it's a low-level beast, so it's going to be a pretty low-level unique, but even then it still could be quite good. Alright, down goes the red crab. And now we get to see if we, oh, there's some nice loot there. Before going on and doing the zone up top for Oak, one of the bands, I want to go all the way west, because we're going to grab the next waypoint, and then loop back. Alright, there's the waypoint, so let's head back to town. I went to my hideout. That's not right. Okay, there's town. We could talk to Einhar. He's going to say, hey, let's come to Menagerie. Let's go to the Menagerie. Now we get to engage with the Einhar mechanic and do our first big beast, baby. There it is. You get an item, a unique item. Now, good to note for non-hardcore characters, if you do die in the Menagerie fighting something, it is not a safe death. You lose 10% as you would. And you do lose the recipe. So I would lose the red beast effectively. But if I were to die in this character, I would lose a lot more than just that. So it's not really a top concern. Just a matter of fighting this red beast that is extra fucking chonky. I forgot to turn on my Herald of Ash. My DPS goes from 258 to 286. That's not bad. Okay, first Jack-in-the-Box crab, first beast you're unique. Is it going to be something good? It is not. It is Knight's Hold. Knight's Hold, well, so there's actually 2 things here. Interestingly enough, Knight's Hold can be used for early leveling because it supports things with cast when stunned. And if you were to put in a gem that can't be modified by cast when stunned, it still gets the benefits of the blind and the added chaos damage. But because it's corrupted, you can't change the gem socket, so that green is always green. If it was red, we could put in Holy Flame Tome. It would probably actually give us some damage, but we can't, so that is that. That's going to give us 10 elk shards, and that's great. Now we're going to head back to the Western Forest, because we've got 3 activities to do here. We have to kill a Lyra, we have to get the seal, and we have to fight a spider. You can always tell what direction a Lyra is because the road is broken up on the map. You can see it heads off over here to a broken cobbled road. Grab this sniper real quick. And you just have to follow the yellow brick road to a Lyra. The spider is the opposite. So whatever side a Lyra's on, spider's on the opposite side. So if you were to help her, you get 15 all-res. If you kill her, you don't. The smart move is typically to help her, but we're just going to kill her because I fucking hate bandits. I don't like helping those stinking bandits, you know? But early in hardcore, you would definitely help her just to get 15 all res until your res cap, but I'm pretty good at gearing out, and I don't think I'll have an issue just getting res cap before maps. And down she goes, and there is my amulet. Now before going the opposite side and doing the spider, we're going to follow the main road down and get our little seal. Oh, a regal. Okay, that's a really weird pull. Regals are quite rare, especially early on, since they make a magic item into a rare item. They're definitely a high value currency. Not as good as maybe a binding early on, which will guarantee us a 4-link, but pretty fucking strong. There's the seal. Now if you head back to Act 1, we'll have a passive point waiting for us, but I typically wait until I finish the Act 2 main area, and then I do a full loop around and grab all my rewards. Okay, we're on to the Weaver, the spider. Typically this is a spooky part for some people, because she does an amount of chaos damage. And if you're made of absolute fucking paper, you'll get your asshole reamed. But we're so tanky that this is really not a concern at all. It would take a tremendous amount of shenanigans for us to die at this point to really anything. Especially when we have upwards of 60 life regen, which is over 10% of our life. Alright, down goes the Weaver, and it's nice because we do get access to a new... Oh, he's just alive. We get access to a new set of supports now that are particularly quite powerful. We have things like Controlled Destruction, Elemental Focus, so if we want we could have either less crits, or we can have no ailment effects, or just faster casting. Typically, even early on, Controlled Destruction, if you don't have crit rate coming from somewhere else, is going to net you more DPS than most things. We're going to kind of save this as our 4th link, because Combustion's pretty good. Now we're going to head back to the Riverways to go up to fight Oak. He is our final bandit friend. Oh, looks like we got a bestiary in this zone, so we're definitely going to full clear the area to figure out what beast it is, since the benefit of potential unique is quite high for us. Here is Oak. We actually get to fight him with Einhar, which is kind of funny. And let's kill that Oak. Alright, down goes Oak. We get a pair of wool shoes. And we got our amulet. So now we could finish up that quest line. But first, let's do this bestiary section. Alright, let's see what the red beast is. It is a monkey. Monkey's an interesting one. Monkey is stuck in a tree, I think. Oh, he's free. More wool shoes. What is with the wool shoes in here? Little rogue exile action. Alright, here's the roots for the needle. So we use the weaver needle we grabbed on that. Let's get the waypoint. Now we're going to find this last beast. Do the menagerie? Do the menagerie and then wrap up the central Act 2 and move on to the second half. Ooh, a 2-stone ring. Alright, thank you, Mr. Yellow Beast. These are twin res rings. This one actually top rolled. It rolled cold and fire. Let's see how it goes. Basically all dead stats, but its base res is going to be pretty much just better than what this is offering, so we'll still take that. It evens out our res a little bit more. We've frozen. We're unfrozen. Alright. Okay, so here's Aramir. There's a passive for the bandits. Let's swing back to Act 1 here and talk to Bastille. And there's another passive for the seal we did. Passive 1, passive 2. Alright, now it's Menagerie time. So, I said the monkeys were good, and the monkeys give us an amulet. The monkeys could be really good. There's a couple interesting amulets we could get. Something like wacky like an Astramentus would be absurd, but we're hoping that's just something that's relevant, because our current amulet basically does nothing. It has a little bit of strength. Victorios is a common one. That one at least gives us relevant stats. So there's a few. Even things like Carnage Heart that doesn't really benefit us fully, just has a good amount of stats and res. So we're looking for an amulet that is anything of substance. I'm feeling a Victorios. Here we go. Nope, that's the worst case scenario. The Side Breath, it's an amulet for minions specifically. I don't have minions. Totems are not minions. But this amulet really would actually be an upgrade because it does just have 25 cold res and mana regen, which is better than our amulet. But we're not even going to use it. We're just going to vendor it anyway. It's kind of a dud and a half, and that's okay. Alright, moving on to the wetlands. Entering the temple here. And getting on to the second half of Act 2. Ooh, a Chaos. It's kind of a rare drop. 2 additional sockets, huh? That's interesting. Didn't yield any 4 sockets even, but that's sad. We would love to get a 4 link, and although Act 2 isn't super great for it, Act 3 we will definitely be on to 4 links by then. So here is the Vaal Ruins has access to a corruption altar, which is the same as using a Vaal orb. There's not really much for us to Vaal at the moment, so there's not much benefit to be gained for doing this. None of the gems we have any Vaal variants or anything fancy, so we could Vaal Holy Flame Totem. Oh no, that's a gem, sorry. It has to be a piece of gear. Yeah, there's really not much we could do. We could Vaal our gloves, and it could technically hit a corruption for applying a curse, so they could just get destroyed. Nothing happened. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much excitement there. The biggest benefit, I would say, we could have used another gem, but the biggest benefit would have been, you know, augmenting something positively, but it's kind of a whatever thing. It introduces you to one aspect of incursion, which is having access to the Vaal Temple, I guess, or Vaal Orbs. Okay, here is the quest progression. The Ancient Seal, we hit the big ball. Now we've let loose something diabolical in Act 2 we're going to totally have to deal with later on, so hope you're ready. Onto the Northern Forest, we'll be introduced to a new mechanic, which is Ritual. It's actually a pretty potent one, so this one could yield us something positive. That's what Ritual looks like, and you basically kill stuff, hit the button, kill stuff, and then we get currency to spend at the end on something substantial, hopefully. Ritual can be spooky for hardcore, but mostly from a very specific type of ritual that has a large amount of mobs that do chaos damage. Something that's not super prevalent at this stage of the game. The rituals themselves come in different flavors of damage and the mechanics, but for the most part, they don't do a whole lot lethally. It's just kind of whatever. You can have up to 4, but this zone has 3 rituals in it. We have so much chaos from Mercenaries that we don't have anything to spend it on yet, but it's just crazy to see. Alright, final ritual. And we get some goodies. So you can see at the bottom we're building up a number. That is the favor, ritual favor. That's the currency we use to spend in ritual. This purple shit, by the way, this is what I was afraid of. That's chaos damage. For the most part, purple shit is chaos damage. And that can get you early on, for sure, even in hardcore. But we just want to stay on our toes, keep our ass on a swivel, and try not to get bogged down by something that's lethal. So we have 1,044 ritual monies to spend. And we've got a variety of things to purchase. We could purchase everything, but nothing is standing out as crazy important looking. So we could re-roll, but we do run the risk of not being able to afford something. Alternatively, we could just purchase 3 chance orbs. I'm kind of leaning towards purchasing 3 chance orbs, but we'll just re-roll for the series. Okay, so there is a unique in here, but we can't afford it. It's a Hrimsorrow. It's an interesting unique, quite good early on for a lot of builds. There's other stuff in here we also can't afford. Oh, there's a Shiver Sting too. We hit 2 uniques, neither of which we could afford. We can't defer stuff because we can only defer stuff in ritual areas above 46. So those are just lost. So we're actually just going to be losing stuff. We're just going to buy the transmutation. But just to showcase, this could have been on the first screen and we would have had ourselves a pair of Hrimsorrows. But that's the way the cookie crumbles in the land of ritual. So we have left empty-handed in a way. But moving on to the cavern. All right, level 26, kind of an important level. We have 355 DPS, right, on our individual Holy Flame Totems. But now we're about to pick up Iron Will, which does make our Strength bonus, the passive bonus we have from Strength, 5 Strength is 1 damage, also apply to spell damage, which might not sound like a ton, but it actually is. So 355 becomes 407. Pretty substantial. This just gets better and better and better. The more flat we get, the better that percent gets. The more strength we get, the better that gets overall. So it's a pretty important little node. Okay, we're reaching the end of the caverns, and here is the pyramid. Now, there's the waypoint, and you will notice up here, if I can showcase it, I believe we have, where is it? Something hidden. I can't recall if I have to do it anymore. I couldn't find the fucking shit room, but we're moving on to the ancient pyramid. I think there's like a recipe or like a strongbox hiding behind a wall, but I really have no idea where it is. It's very unimportant, so we're just going to keep on trucking. Ooh, a reanimator. It's the first we've seen of them. You do have to watch out if mobs like this have detonate dead abilities, because they might summon some otherworldly creature that has a ton of life then detonate it underneath you and you'll just get one shot. So those are some of the things you have to watch out for when it comes to mercenaries that you've never experienced before, or ones that are starting to get spooky. Because I would almost guarantee, if you were trying to play hardcore in a more professional setting to get to level 100 or whoever you want, whatever level or goal you have, and you were in Mercenaries League, you would never interact with mercenaries, because it is going to be responsible for 95% of your deaths in hardcore, if interacting with the mercenaries would be because of mercenaries. Okay, here we go. Pyramid Apex. We're reaching the top of the pyramid now. You can see there's the dark altar we hit, and here's a little recipe on the side. One of the very many crafting recipes that you see throughout the acts. Now we are going to fight the big baddie that we unlocked when we hit that ball. This is the Vaal Oversoul. This is the boss of Act 2. He's got a couple mechanics. He has falling rocks, he's got laser beam, he's got cold, he summons ads. But for the most part, we're just going to place our totems and run in circles, and we'll take care of the rest. The main thing to watch out for, I would say, is his slam attack. You don't want to get slammed. Getting slammed hurts. You know it because he extremely slowly brings up one of his hands and slams it down. There's the laser beam. It itself probably won't kill you, but the fact that the laser beam will shock you, shock making you take substantially more damage, that might kill you. Alright, down goes Vaal Oversoul, and we have gotten, looks like 2 rares that could be good. We have a body. Nope, not great. And the gloves. Nope, not great. And that's okay. But, more importantly, on to Act 3, the City of Sarn.